Hi everyone, I'm here with Erica, who is the president of Roosevelt at Mason. Erica, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing really good. So, just to jump into it, for those at home, can you tell us exactly what Roosevelt at Mason is?
Yeah, so Roosevelt at Mason is a student-led policy think tank. So we operate under the Roosevelt Network, which is a part of the Roosevelt Institute, which is a policy think tank based in New York City. And so basically, we are a progressive but nonpartisan think tank. So that means we focus on policy writing and policy advocacy in various policy areas. And we were established at George Mason, this chapter about 6 or 7 years ago, and we've been going pretty strong ever since. So we are made up of students from almost every major you can think of, and we work together to create innovative solutions for problems we see in our communities.
That's great. Looking at this current election right now, it's a big year for a lot of people.
Mhm.
Is there any specific projects or policies that Roosevelt Mason has specifically worked on?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in light of increased police brutality and the Black Lives Matter movement getting so much momentum this summer, we are working on kind of a bigger policy project to address connections between policing and mental health, both at Mason on campus and in Virginia as a whole. So we've been kind of strategizing with administration and different offices on campus, as well as doing research in Virginia as a whole and looking at police brutality. And its connection to mental health because people with mental health conditions are much more likely to experience violence from the police. So that is something that has been really important to us this year. And yeah, we're working on kind of advocacy projects that our members have started to think about this semester that are kind of still in the works. But before COVID started last semester, we were really excited to start kind of a clothing swap recurring event, and we were able to host one sustainable clothing swap where over like 60 people met up in the JC and swapped clothing, which is really awesome. And we collected a bunch of clothing to be donated. And although, we probably can't do that right now, it'll be a little while since until we're able to again. That was a really great event. And it shows, how Mason students are interested in sustainability and interested um, in these important issues. So, we also looked at fast fashion and the impacts of the industry on workers and just tried to educate Mason students about where their clothes are coming from and why it's so important to be educated and also to shop sustainably if you're able to.
Wow, that's really great. So, as an organization overall, have you seen any growth or have you seen it evolve over the last couple of years?
Mhm. Yeah, so the last couple of years has definitely been interesting with the 2016 election. I'm not sure if you've noticed this, but lots of kind of single issue organizations have popped up on campus. Whereas when Roosevelt started, 6 or 7 years ago, we were one of the only kind of policy oriented or advocacy organizations on campus. So we've seen our members kind of think about where they want to like put their time and their effort because Roosevelt, we were separated into 6 different policy groups for a while. But these days, we usually just meet together as one because we've also kind of witnessed how all these policy issues are so intersectional. So something like education, has so much to do with my policy area, which is healthcare, that we started to meet together more and more until we realized that so many of our interests are kind of the same. So we've started to meet as like a whole organization more often. So yeah, our membership has ebbed and flowed, of course, with COVID, and that's been difficult for student organizations all across campus, but I think people are hopeful about the upcoming election. We'll see. We can't endorse a candidate because Roosevelt is a 501c3. But yeah, we are hoping for progressive change, which is absolutely something, we can say. And I think students have absolutely become more active on campus, which is really good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So as an organization, is there like one main goal or one main purpose that you're really striving for?
hmm Sure. So, one of the kind of slogans that the Roosevelt Network uses is "Who writes the rules matters." So, basically, our goal is to create and write equitable policy that works for everyone. So, we have seen, in the US, that the people who are writing the rules, who are writing the policies that govern us, don't always work in the best interest of us and our communities, and especially young people. So we work to uplift the voices of those who are affected by policy. And actually, as an organization, we have written many policy papers and proposals that have both been published by the think tank Roosevelt itself, as well as we have introduced several bills on the floor of the Virginia General Assembly over the past few years, which has been really great. And we usually go down to Richmond every year to lobby for both bills that students in our organization have written, as well as bills we'd like to advocate for otherwise. So, definitely the main goal of the organization is to push for progressive policy change. And so we do that both through policy writing and through advocacy.
Wow, that's fantastic. And so if students are interested in getting involved or following along with some of your work, what are the best ways for them to do that?
Mhm. Yeah. So, honestly, one of the best ways this semester we found to connect with students is over Mason 360. So, it's really easy to plug into our organization there. You can join our email list, and we send out emails every week. So, if you just click, I think it's like join or register our organization on Mason 360, you'll be able to receive all communication from us. And you can also follow us on social media. Our Facebook is just GMU Roosevelt. Our Instagram is at gmu.roosevelt. And I believe our Twitter is GMU Roosevelt as well. So definitely look out there for updates every week. We hold meetings every Wednesday at 7:30 via Zoom. Which have been really successful so far this semester. So if you're interested at all, feel free to sign up on Mason 360, or you can reach out to me directly. I'm the president. Yeah.
And then finally, is there any last thoughts or comments that you'd like to leave some of our viewers with?
Yeah. I would like to say to the viewers that you have so much more power than you think to change your community for the better. It's very easy to just think of a problem that you see, in your town, your state, or in the country, and just like be upset about it, which I, often do, but it's so empowering to be able to actually do something about it. And whether that's through advocating for a certain policy or writing even just a blog. We have a blog where our members can write about issues they're passionate about. It is really so impactful. So you have so much power, and it doesn't matter if you're not a government major. I'm not, but I've still found that, we try to make policy accessible for everyone because it's so important. Um, and yeah, so recognize your power, utilize it, and yeah, join Roosevelt at Mason.
Great. Well, thank you, Eric, so much for joining us today. And if you're interested in joining Roosevelt Mason, check them out on all their social medias and on Mason 360.